Hello and welcome to the Basketball Addicts Podcast.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Today we have a good one. Basically, we're in this odd time frame as basketball fans. This is the day before we're recording this, the day before the last day of the basketball season. Um, basically, after that, we're gonna get play-ins from the seeds 7 through 10. So there's gonna be a lot of playoff matchups, and then after that, I think on the 14th is the last day of the regular season or the day that the playoffs start. So we got a lot of moving pieces right now. But today we're basically just going to be talking to you guys about these teams, the way we feel about these teams. We're not gonna give you guys all the information that we're gonna give you guys on our playoff projections and the playoff breakdowns that we're gonna be giving out next week, where we break down our matchups, choose our winners each round. It's gonna be great in detail. It's gonna be the best stuff you can find out there. We're really good at this. We're really good at breaking down matchups. So it's gonna be today is gonna be talking about these great teams. You know, these teams that are improving, these teams that are declining. It's a lot of things in flux, especially in the West. So,
Yeah.
the only thing that I feel like is solid is Milwaukee, man. Like the Milwaukee Bucks, every time I watch them, I just feel so much more like I really believe that they're the best team in the NBA. I really truly believe that the Milwaukee Bucks have a great defensive scheme. I feel like they play together. They play so well offensively. I feel like everything complements Giannis. I think Giannis is the best player in the league. And I think this is a good chance for number 2 here for Giannis, man. That's something I'm very excited for.
Number 2. Okay. I have a little pushback there because even though they do seem like a well defensive team, a well offensive team, they're clicking. Giannis, I will agree with you, does look like the best player in the league right now. I will say that the Phoenix Suns has their number. This is a revenge matchup if it comes to fruition. You know what I mean? They've added KD. They look a lot different with KD. You know what I mean? They are like 8-0 with KD. You know what I mean? They this is a team that is like full of shot creation and passing ability. You know what I mean? So like especially from the point guard position and things like that. So yes, Milwaukee may have the height advantage over them to an extent, but I think that the scoring output that the Suns can hit, the Bucks can't match. But they will be a really good matchup because they match up well defensively.
Okay. I have a good question for you, Chris.
What's
Good
up?
question. So, the Phoenix Suns are an enigma because they haven't played many games together with KD. It's limited time to scout them. So, as you've watched them, what is your takeaway from the Suns team? What do you think is their identity, strengths, weaknesses as a team?
Strengths as a weakness as a team. The biggest strength they have as a team is their shot creation ability. I believe with KD, that's added a level of shot creation that they didn't have before, especially because the way that how efficient he is. Especially in the couple games he's played, he's averaging like 33 in just like 7 games. It's like ridiculous. Like he's been playing out of his mind in these just couple games, and he works really well because he's not one of those thinker kind of players. He's more of that. Okay, give me the ball, kill. I'll get out of my way. I'm going to kill whatever's in my way. Kind of players. Like he's very reactionary. That's a great word, reactionary. Because he's an ultimate scorer. He's like the purest scorer in the league we have today, besides Devin Booker, and they're both on the same team. So it's like. It just works really well, especially with the CP3, because like he has 2 guys he can pass to, and he knows like they're going to automatically get a bucket for him, and then that opens up the lane because like now because people are like worried about Booker, they're worried about KD. Now that opens up the lane because now Chris Paul has easy mid-range shot. That's where he lives. This is bread and butter. He can knock down the 3, but he really gets to his spot. He plays very well and gets to his spot. Remember how when we were talking about Jimmy Butler, we said that if we want to talk about Jimmy Butler, this is the guy who always gets to a spot, makes his shot, gets to a spot, makes his shot. That's CP3 as well. CP3 has that exact same game, except for that he's able to elevate those around him as well. And wouldn't that be like the perfect scenario, right? Where the players that you're elevating around you are superstar level talent. So like when you elevate those guys, like where are you elevating them to if they're already at the top? You know what I mean? So it's like it makes it look like it's limitless in a way. I just think that the Suns have the best chance in the West, barring injury, barring anything bad happening. Knock on wood, because you never know with the NBA. the Suns have the best chance in the West. And then when they face the Bucks, because I believe the Bucks have really capitalized on the East. That's the best word I can think of right now.
Mm-hmm.
Have capitalized on the East. Like the East is theirs. Like I don't see any team beating the Bucks, barring injury. Right? Injury is always a toss up. Right? Anybody can get hurt. It's always an X factor. Barring injury, the Bucks have the East. Barring injury, the Suns have the West. So it's a collision course. The Suns and the Bucks will collide again. The only difference is that KD will be in a Suns jersey.
True.
And I think that will push the Suns to their first championship.
Okay, so you think the best team in the league right now
is the Suns?
Best playoff. Okay, interesting.
Best championship potential in the league outside the Bucks are the Suns. I wouldn't even like how I would put it if I was to rank 1 through 3. Right, just 1 through 3. It would be for me: Bucks, Suns, Celtics. That's my 3.
Okay. That's my 3.
Okay. Because the Celtics have a high championship ceiling, but I don't think that they can contend. I don't think they can contend with the Bucks on the level that the Suns can. Even though they don't have the defensive capability, I think offensively they match the Bucks' defensive capability. Because you're looking at KD could drop 50-40. 50 or 40 a night. You know what I mean? Devin Booker could drop 50 or 40. You might get like 25-30 from CP3 on a good night. It's like ridiculous over there.
Mm-hmm.
Just looking at their stars. You know what I mean? But on the other end, they match up well defensively. The Bucks do with the Suns because they can lock those players down because they have so many long forwards and guards that just lock everybody up. So if these guys can't get off, then it's the Bucks' world. But KD seems virtually unguardable. So it's like he's gonna score. So it's like there's no stopping that. So the game plan for the Bucks is you got to try to get somebody else to beat them, but the next person who's going to beat them is Booker. So you're not going to stop both of them from going off. You're not. It's just I don't think that's possible. Mm-hmm. I think you're going to choose one or the other, and somebody's going to put the dagger through the heart. One or the other.
Okay. So I have different views on the Suns.
That's fine.
Me personally, I don't think they're better than the Celtics, but I think they're the third best team in the NBA.
Why third?
Complete basketball team, the Celtics. But to talk about the Suns individually, I am very impressed by a few things. The biggest thing is Monty Williams is a hell of a coach. Like,
gotta be.
The way
give them a round of applause.
Exactly, because like when I thought about KD and Devin Booker, I was like, okay, Devin Booker ISOs a lot. Devin Booker is a mid-range guy. With KD around, I haven't seen Devin Booker touch a fucking ISO in the mid-range. Oh, like the games I watch the play, you don't see it, right? No. And it's a lot of pick and roll for Devin Booker, right? And it's a lot more of like him getting in the mid-roll and him making his own shots. So it's like him and KD can gel well together. You know what I mean? Yeah. KD can be that true wing, and you know, it's amazing how well the ball moves in Phoenix. Like, when you think Devin Booker and KD, you think you're going to be seeing some ball stopping, right? Mm-hmm. The ball doesn't stop, right? Like, it's impressive how advanced of a movement system is being used there in such a short time frame, and especially with the bench. Like, they have some shot creators off the bench, too, where you said shot creating is their biggest skill, and I would 100% agree with you. By far their best skill. It's not just KD and Devin Booker. They have TJ Warren off the bench. You know what I mean? He can shot create a little bit for himself. They have Terrence Ross that gets some limited minutes off the rest. They have Torrey Craig, who's a 3-and-D guy. They have Cameron Artis-Payne, who's always been able to get in the lane and get his mid-range shots. You know what I mean? And
exactly.
They have a few more guys that add up into a overall alignment of we have multiple guys that are skilled at scoring the basketball and shot creating for themselves. And that movement off the bench, because usually they'll either have KD or Devin Booker on the floor at all times and with the bench shooter. And you would think during those time frames, okay, yep, Devin Booker's just going to ISO, right? We're just going to see. No, it's still a movement even at that point in time. They play ridiculously efficient offense for 48 minutes. Look, there's going to be some games that they win by 20, 30 in the playoffs, okay?
Yeah.
They're going to get hot. They're really efficient. They hit tough shots. They have 3-point shooters. The ball moves. Monty Williams, a hell of a coach, right? And DeAndre Ayton and CP3 pick and rolls always there. And DeAndre Ayton's a good post player. And Monty Williams has put on a masterclass of rotations. I mean, I'm seeing Kevin Durant on the floor by himself. I'm seeing Devin Booker with, what was the center? DeAndre Ayton paired together, right? Like, you're seeing so many different rotations and there's so many different situations and everybody's rested and everybody's just being in the fit and everything works well together. And Monty Williams is putting on a masterclass of coaching right now. Like, people, the common casual fan will think, oh, it's CP3. CP3 is the one that's making all decisions. CP3 is the one that's making the Suns look what they look like. No, it's Monty and CP3, right?
Yeah.
Like, Monty's not the one calling the plays. Monty's not. CP3 is not the one calling the plays. CP3 is the one teaching these guys how to move the ball, play together, and you know what I mean, move off ball, right? Like, he's not the head coach every single day. It's Monty, right?
Yeah.
Give Monty his credit because he's doing a hell of a job. You know, and the ball moves and the passing. You know how much I believe in passing leads to championships. Their ball movement and their passing, the way they play together, is beautiful. I love that kind of basketball. I really, truly believe that it leads to winning. So you might be thinking, Chris, okay, if Jason really believes in the Suns this much, I'm worried about the defense. It's very, very average. Let me ask you this, Chris. Past 15 years, when's the last time you've seen somebody win an NBA championship with at least not a top 10 defense in the playoffs? Some people play different defense in the playoffs.
I'm trying to think in the last 15 years.
You got the Warriors, great defense.
But they had a decent defense, though.
I'm saying the Warriors had great defenses. Right? The Raptors had great defense. Cavs had good defenses.
Good defense.
Yeah.
Toronto had a great defense led by Kawhi. Milwaukee.
Mm-hmm.
Pistons were defensive. They were defensive juggernauts.
Yeah. Historically speaking, balanced teams win championships, and that's my issue. When they go up against the high tier teams that can score close to their level but defend at such a higher level, that's where I'm worried. I'm worried about the equation being able to balance out. But you're right. Like, this team, I'm leaning them the best team in the West. I think if I had to choose today, I'd choose them to come out of the West too. It's funny how we both changed our opinion in the same direction. And you know, it's going to be good for basketball. It's going to be a great NBA Finals. It's going to be entertaining. The playoffs are going to be entertaining. The West is just like a fucking dumpster fire right now.
And the Suns are the firefighters putting it out right now because they're they're literally like, even though they've only played, like you said, minimal games together, like 7-8 games, maybe 9 at the max right now.
Yeah.
They have completely, in my opinion, taken control of the West. The West is no longer open. The West is the Suns' West to win or to lose at this point.
Yeah.
Everybody else is just playing the game for the Suns to win.
Yeah. It's really impressive. Monty Williams doing a hell of a job there.
Lock it down that quickly, though?
Yes.
To lock it down that quickly? And
to get yes.
But to think of that, though, it's because of KD, though. It's because KD went to that team, and then Monty Williams was able to integrate him seamlessly and create an offense that worked very well with two top 10 shot creators top 10 scorers, top 10 shot creators, top 10 purest scorers in the league today.
Let me pose this question to you.
What's up?
How many rings would the Clippers have right now if Monty would have been the coach when Paul George and Kawhi got together and they never had an offense built around them like this is right now?
Oh my gosh, they will still be winning rings right now.
Exactly.
They will still be winning rings right now.
Right? Like, The casual fan, like, just to put that in perspective, how crazy it is to mix egos, top tier individual scoring talents like this in such a short time frame. Time frame is fucking ridiculous. But it's a credit to a guy who's a top 3 coach in the league, who's knocking
Well,
on the door to be the best.
well, to be fair, think about this for a second. Kawhi was a young guy playing with Tim Duncan, Tony Parker, and Manu Ginobili, right? He wasn't quite a superstar, but he was a young guy becoming a superstar on that team. Then when they all retired seamlessly right after each other, or no, Tony Parker went to the Charlotte Hornets and then retired. They all seamlessly retired one after another. Then it became Kawhi's team. Kawhi had that injury. He stopped playing basketball for the Spurs, went to the Toronto Raptors. Kawhi has never had another top 10 player when he's playing at an all-star level next to him. You can't say Kyle Lowry was an all-star talent. He was a talent. I would say all NBA talent. It was a good team, but it wasn't an all-star talent next to him.
Mm-hmm.
Paul George is an all-star talent, so that talks about Kawhi as a player, because we can't call him. We can say he's a great player, but how good of a teammate is he if he's not able to not being able to play well with an all-star talent next to him? They play
it's more indicative
individually, but not together. That's true.
I think it's more indicative of the coaching.
You think it's more indicative of the coaching?
Yes.
I would say they play well individually, but as together, I don't think they play well together, because he's never played next to an all-star level talent, and outside of Pop, he hasn't had a coach. Outside of Nick Nurse, he hasn't had a coach
those two were good.
that has been able to integrate him and an all-star talent level together. Mm-hmm. Even though Nick Nurse maximized him and Kyle Lowry looked like an all-star next to Kawhi, but he was not an all-star, because it was really proven when he went to Miami that he is not an all-star level talent. And hasn't been all-star level talent.
I think part of that was system.
Okay, true, but it was just saying, like, he wasn't an all-star level talent but he was an all-star level talent in that system in which Nick Nurse made him an all-star level talent.
I feel you. Yeah, you're right.
And they put the blinders on the Miami Heat. They was like, "Oh, we got Kyle Lowry," and then he goes over there and stinks the bed.
Yeah, I mean, the Miami Heat. You want to talk about a team that just makes me sad every year? I remember banging on these desks saying that year last year was the last year of their championship window, and they needed to put Tyler Hero as a starter. And they would look at the tape the next year and be like, "Oh yeah, Tyler Hero needs to be a starting 2 guard." They did. He's the starting 2 guard now. They would have done it last year. That would have been a lot more tough.
Yeah.
It's a sad thing. Miami Heat, for some reason, just missed the boat on team building this year and how to build around Jimmy Butler, and they wasted a year.
Yeah.
That's just what it is.
Yeah. They definitely missed the boat on that. Yeah. It's crazy because, like, had Jimmy not left the Sixers, how many rings would the Sixers have won eventually? I think they would have at least one.
Him, Harden, and Embiid would be a crazy fit. They would be so good. So goddamn
It worked
good.
with him, Simmons, and Embiid. It worked.
Yeah.
They literally lost on a fluke. It
goes in, bro.
Look. Hey, listen, it was a 2K bounce. Had that shot not went in, Philly takes it. Philly takes it, and then they go on to beat a hobbled Warriors, and they get their first ring.
That'd be crazy. They were narrative
that
change.
Close, right?
Yeah. Then Embiid with a ring.
No, not even that. You look at Ben Simmons a lot differently.
Oh yeah,
maybe a lot differently than we do now. You look at him a lot differently. You look at Embiid a lot differently than we do now, and even Jimmy gets a different light shined on him.
True. Yeah, Jimmy's that man. Jimmy's a bad motherfucker in the playoffs.
Without a doubt.
But he's in the play-in.
He turns it up. Yeah. He turns it up. I think
They're
he'll
getting
the playoffs, though.
Smacked by either the Celtics or the Bucks. Ran through.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. So
they'll make it to the playoffs.
So earlier this week, for the people who don't know, let you guys in on something. We were talking about how much we both love the Lakers. So
Yes.
why do you think your evaluation of the Lakers dropped a little bit? Like what's the change, Chris? How do you feel about the Lakers?
Oh, I still love the Lakers.
Okay.
I'm gonna ride with the Lakers for a minute because it seems that they're starting to actually click.
True.
With LeBron out, even though they haven't played a lot of games with LeBron with this new team, I think they played like one or
Mhm.
two. Then he went out again with that. When he went out with that foot injury, and then AD stepped up,
True.
and that was the biggest thing. That was like, I knew he had it in him, but I didn't know he was going to show it to me again.
Mhm.
You know what I mean?
True.
And then that had me started to believe in the Lakers a little bit more, right? You start
Mhm.
believing in the Lakers when you start seeing things that you wish you were seeing earlier in the year.
Mhm.
When you have a player the caliber of Anthony Davis, and you're like, I know it's there. I've seen
True.
it. I've seen it. I just wish he would just, come back and be
Mhm.
that guy again. And
Yeah.
when he became that guy, I was like, the Lakers have the ultimate opportunity to win one this year,
Yeah.
or to at least go to a Western Conference Finals, and that's not a bad
No.
start to having a
No.
new team.
Yeah.
You don't know how long you have with LeBron, but that's a nice start.
Yeah.
I would love that start.
Yeah.
I just put a new team together. I have LeBron and AD from last year.
Mhm.
They're going to be LeBron and AD, and I'm able to go to the Western Conference Finals. I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
Even though every year with LeBron on my team, it's championship or bust, I'm okay with the Western Conference Finals appearance.
Yeah.
That's a nice start. You could build around that start.
Mhm. True.
And I think that's why I'm so big on the Lakers, because I've seen the ups and downs in us talking about Russell Westbrook and how he didn't fit seamlessly and how he was a problem, and up and down in the media really slandering that man for no absolutely reason but to scapegoat him. We've seen the ups and downs, and then you take a couple pieces out, and then you put a couple pieces in, and then it changes the whole entire culture of a team, and the team starts looking better than it ever has.
Mhm.
Yeah. You know what I mean? It kind of like reinvigorated me on the Lakers, because I was really, really low on them, really, really low, and I really just like, that Anthony Davis is really starting to step up and show us that, hey, I'm still a superstar. I'm still that guy. I'm still him. Yeah. You know what I mean? In a sense. And with LeBron back, LeBron has dropped 33, 37. I know that he's not going to be he's not going to be the number one scorer in the playoffs. I just know that's not going to be possible at this stage of his life, in the stage of his career. I would like for him to be that. Yeah. But 33, 37, I'm okay with that. If AD can drop 30 to 33 a night, I'm fine with that as well. Yeah. That's a good start for me. I'm okay with that. Now we just need the rest of the pieces to come along with, and I believe they are ready to. I believe that because the way that LeBron has seamlessly integrated himself back into the offense, you know what I mean? And it's working well. They're not in the play-ins. They lost to the Clippers. I mean, that was a very loaded game. Huh?
They're in the play-in right now.
Yeah, they're like 7, right?
Yeah, they're 7. Yeah.
They're 7. Yeah, they were fighting for 6, but I think the Clippers beat them. The Clippers did beat them, and I think that was more of a revenge game for Russ, because Russ felt like he was betrayed by his favorite organization.
Yeah, so, I could see that.
Yeah. Yeah. So I think the narrative was there for that. Yeah. I'm really big on the Lakers. I like the Lakers a lot.
Yeah. So when it comes down to the Lakers, they have a few glaring strengths. I would say wing defense is one of them. Yeah, I mean, Anthony Davis at the rim, his pick and roll defense is going to be a strength. It's going to be causing issues for whoever they get. Jared Vanderbilt and Troy Brown Jr. Right, Troy Brown Jr. is a really solid 6'7", 6'8" rotational wing. They got 2 wings that can defend really well and make sure LeBron doesn't have to defend. The position I'm really worried about is the guard position. It has nothing to do with D'Angelo Russell. I love the way he plays, but I had this feeling of I want the Lakers to be X, but there's something missing, and the something that's missing is those guards are so inconsistent outside of D'Lo that they're going to have some nights where you get 35 from the guard position. Austin Reeves either drops 15 or drops 2, right?
Yeah.
Malik Beasley drops 15 or he drops 2. Dennis Schroeder is super inconsistent. You're either getting, oh yeah, he either looks like, oh my gosh, that guy was once a 6-man of the year candidate with the OKC Thunder. Remember when they had Shai Gilgeous and CP3 and he was their 6th
Yeah.
man? It's like sometimes he looks like that, and sometimes he looks like, man, he is not making a team next year, right? Like, you don't know what you're gonna get from him. Sometimes he's super turnover prone, right? So it's just so many inconsistencies at the guard position that leads me to think, okay, when they're in the series and there's going to be some serious lows of them scoring, they're going to just lose some games because of inconsistencies at the guard position. And
Yes.
even now, because Austin Reeves is being the starting 2 guard, I'm like, this is all stats. Why is Malik Beasley not starting 2?
Yeah.
Like the only reason why he's starting 2 is because his stat sheet looks better than Malik Beasley. But you need that shot creation so desperately at starting your 2 guard and getting these major minutes. So that's a Darvin Ham mistake. I do think Darvin Ham's a below averages. Let's call him the 18th to the 20th best head coach of the NBA, right? Like, and coaching matchups where you get a really great coach they're gonna coach circles around him, right? And there's gonna be some coaches that they get that can be really tough for them. So, I think that they have their weaknesses, but they also have their strengths, which is LeBron. They got shooting.
Yes.
Right, you know what I mean? AD, LeBron healthy, the pick and roll, offensively, things are built around that. I think D'Lo, this is the best version of D'Lo I think we've ever seen within a winning basketball team. I mean, he passes the ball well. He's a good secondary ball handler. He shot creates for himself. Like, D'Lo's an amazing third piece for LeBron James. I think he's a better third piece than Kevin Love. Now, I think that might be a little controversial, but Kevin Love, people forget how Kevin Love was sitting on the bench against the Golden State Warriors for multiple minutes, get 20 minutes per game, 18 because he was getting switched and getting exposed, and he couldn't do anything against Draymond Green, right? Like, let's not be revisionist history here. Kevin Love had his weaknesses as a fit with LeBron. I might say Chris Bosh is probably a better third wheel. He just now came into my head, so he's the second best third wheel LeBron James has ever had. So, it's a really good fit. I really feel like they have good future, right? They just need to be able to go into next season, get a guard. That's a staple. That's like, okay, this is our 2 guard. We paid money for him. A good guy that averaged consistent 15 to 12 a night. We can really count on him. Play some defense too. Amazing, right? That's exactly what they need. Like a poor man's Drew Holiday, some guy that fits that description. But yeah, I think they're a very good team. If I had to do power rankings, they'd be 4, right? Which is a good thing, right? They have good versatility, they play good defense, and they're a well-rounded team.
I agree with that. So I have a question for you.
Okay.
Do you think Darvin Ham survives into next season?
Yes.
Or do you think they go after Ime?
Oh dear God. Ooh. I mean, if it's me running the organization, I'm dropping everything for Ime. But other than robbing the most gullible franchise in the NBA history in Minnesota Timberwolves, that front office hasn't done many good things recently. Okay?
That's very true. That's very true. It's not hard to rob the Minnesota Timberwolves.
Exactly.
It's not hard to do that.
Let's not try to grade the Lakers organization about their ability to take candy from a literal baby. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
This is not the same. They literally, the Minnesota Timberwolves traded D'Angelo Russell for Mike fucking Conley, who has been playing so long. They played with Greg Oden in college. Let that sink in for a second there. Dear God, with Anthony Davis and Cat and all those guys that are young, right? So, stupidity is stupidity, I guess, and the Minnesota Timberwolves are that. So,
yeah,
that's my playoff breakdown for the Minnesota Timberwolves. Stupidity is stupidity.
Yeah, stupidity is stupidity does. Because they literally did rob them. I mean, like, shoot, I probably could rob the Minnesota Timberwolves. Like,
yes. You can walk in and take anything you want right now. Free entrance.
Right.
Oh, goodness.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Okay. So I feel like an interesting topic
Mm-hmm.
is the Golden State Warriors. If they get
That
Andrew
is
Wiggins
interesting.
back, Andrew Wiggins, we haven't seen him play healthy yet,
He's
but
been shut
Wiggs is
down.
back. Really? All year?
I read that he's been shut down. He's not playing again. He's done.
Oh, okay. Well, I guess what do you think about the Warriors without Andrew Wiggins in the playoffs?
Oh yeah, that's an integral piece. That's what got him to win the championship last year.
Yeah.
It's like they're not, that's why I said
He's
the
shut
West is the
down?
Suns. I think he's done for the year. He came back, but he's not playing. I don't think he's gonna play again. I read this. I don't know if I think I said it on Twitter. That's why I'm gonna take it with a grain of salt. But I believe he's done. I think he's done. He came back and he hasn't played. I don't think he's suiting up this year. I think he's done. He's done for the year. He's not gonna play again until next year.
Man, so what makes you think that the Warriors are gonna get are not gonna be the same?
Oh, like I said, he was an integral part of their defense. I mean, like you have a guy who can play defense and can score at an efficient level.
Yeah.
I mean, that actually adds to what you have. First, I was very skeptical on what Andrew Wiggins really brought to the Warriors, right?
Mm-hmm.
Very skeptical on that. But after seeing what he was able to do during the playoffs last year and then getting them to the championship, I was like, I'm sold on him. That's why I'm thinking that they don't even look the same without Andrew Wiggins. And then they traded so many pieces away and they don't know how to integrate their young talent into their offense yet. They actually paused. Not that they don't know how. They refuse to. So it's
It looks like
it's gonna for real? Yeah. I read that he wasn't coming back. So he is coming back now.
Yeah. He's coming back.
How soon?
He played 5-on-5 this week.
Oh, okay. Well, I read something different. So I read that he was shut down. So okay, I don't know.
Wiggins.
That's why I said it was on Twitter.
With Wiggins back.
Oh.
Okay.
Wiggins back. It makes it very interesting for the Suns. I will not say the Golden State. Mm-hmm. I mean, yeah, the Warriors. I don't think they beat the Suns.
Okay.
I say it makes it interesting. That's a nice series. I would like to watch that series.
Yeah,
that's a really nice series because it's a must. It becomes a must-win series for KD.
Okay.
And let me tell you why. In my Stephen A. voice. You're wrong, and here's why. The reason it becomes a must-win series for Kevin Durant is because after Curry won without KD, everybody looked at KD like, so why were you there?
Correctly so.
If he can win without you, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
If he can win without you, what were you there for?
Yeah.
And you have yet to be able to win. Everybody looked at KD with the side eye. Side eye. They really did that to him. It was like, how dare you?
Exactly.
Like, you have not been able to. You can't lead a team. You have not been able to lead a team. We don't believe in you.
Yeah.
Because you have not been able to. You have not been successful with the team that you've been with. Yet Curry has won another championship without you, and you've yet to do that without him.
Okay. Let me ask you this.
Everybody looked at him very differently.
So there's going to be a lot of people. There's going to be a lot of people that are going to think that the Warriors are still the best team in the West. They still think that they're a championship team. They have championship medal, which they do. Mm-hmm. That they have great championship experience. So if Wiggins is back healthy, do you think that what kind of team, what kind of great team can they be? What level of a team do you think they can be this year? From what you see with Wiggins back,
it depends on how soon he comes back into the lineup.
Okay.
Because there's not that many games left.
Mm-hmm.
And he hasn't played a lot. You know, I think he's been down for like 21 games. I think he played in the beginning.
Something like that, yeah.
Like kind of something like that. He's playing 22, 23 games now, I think has been. And then he came back and he still isn't playing. So I feel like it just depends on how many games they have in order to like get him like kind of reacclimated to like the system and then get everybody else pushed back out and kind of get it back into that mode.
Okay.
Because if they can come back to that mode, I would say that the Warriors are still a championship caliber team.
Okay.
But I will repeat this, is that they're just not beating the Suns.
Okay. So championship, you think they're good enough to be a championship team. So let's say if we made a power rankings, do you think, okay, let me say this. Let's do teams in the East.
Okay, go ahead.
With Wiggins back, are they better than the Bucks?
No.
Better than the Celtics.
Wow, I would say they're even.
Okay.
With the Celtics, I would say they're even with the
76ers.
And then no, not better than six. No, wait. Actually, thinking. The way the Sixers are playing now, it's different.
Mm-hmm.
No, they're not better than the Sixers.
Okay. What about the Cleveland Cavaliers?
They're better than the Cavaliers.
Okay. Number 1 seed in the West that they probably won't face. Nuggets.
Yeah. Are they better than the Nuggets?
Mm-hmm.
No, not better than the Nuggets.
Okay. So what is there like a strength or a weakness that really scares you even with Wiggins back? Is it like, okay, they're going to do X, but this scares me?
I just think that just adds a level of scoring that they back to their team. Now you have to worry about you have to worry about 5 different scorers that can really like give you 20 plus points. True. And then you have to worry about Wiggs, who defends very well on the other end. Yeah. So now you can hide Curry, you can hide Poole, and then now you have Wiggins and Draymond anchoring the defense in the starting lineup. You know what I mean? Yeah. So now they're guarding the two best players, either whether it's Draymond on like the shooting guard or the small forward, or you put Wig on the shooting guard or small forward. They're able to guard those players at that in those positions. Considering where the talent truly lies in the West is at the shooting guard and small forward spot, unless you're the Nuggets, where they have all their talent in the center position. So like now you throw Wiggs and Draymond at Kawhi and Paul George, who do they have left? If you throw Wiggs and Draymond at LeBron and AD, I mean, who do they have left besides D'Lo? Like, D'Lo can go off, but we're not expecting 30, 40 points and winning the game on D'Lo's back. From, you know what I mean? We're not expecting that. You know what I mean? You could maybe be able to throw Wiggs and Draymond at Booker and KD, but I don't believe that they're I don't think that Wiggs shuts KD down. I don't think that Draymond shuts Booker down. But I think that there are some teams in the West that they do shut down. Defensively.
Okay. I'm going to disagree with you. I think they have, even with Wiggs back, I think they have an extreme strategic weakness. Okay? And it's the defense. Right? So Draymond Green's not a DPOY guy. He's a great defender still.
Yes.
Right? Klay Thompson is not a great defender. He's a good defender. Wiggs is still a great defender. The issue here, and should have been glaring in my face all year. The issue here, and the reason why they're getting beat by all these teams, is they can't defend the rim to save their life. Let me explain this to you. Kevin Looney is in there for his screening and his ability to play on the offensive end within their system. Okay.
Yes.
That guy used to be known as, hey, that guy's athletic. He's a good backup center. He covers a lot of ground. He's very switchable, 6'10". Well, now he's slow, 6'10", not very athletic. He can't defend the rim to save his life, right?
Yeah.
And then on top of that, they add oil to the fire, which is their backup center is Javonte Green. Do you know who Javonte Green is?
Yes.
He's a 6'8" journeyman power forward.
Yeah.
Okay? They can't defend the rim to save their life, right? Yeah, and there's too many freaky athletic guys in the NBA. Even guys like Cam Johnson, guys like Mikal Bridges, who aren't great shot creators, for example. They can still get to the rim. Everybody in the NBA can get to the rim, okay? So they have such a ridiculously glaring in-your-face weakness. And the bench doesn't gel well together in the system of the Warrior system. So they have some good positional defenders, but their interior defense is so weak that they're going to be tough for them to, because their defense is so weak, they're going to have to shoot so crazy from the three-point line. And it's just unreasonable for somebody to do that every night. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And, they made the mistake of buying into system fit, especially at the center position, rather than talent. And James Wiseman not being a backup or should be. He's a starting level quality talent, right? Has much more talent than Kevin Looney has right now. That's their issue. That's their mistake here. James Wiseman should be the center, and they planned this, right? They drafted him. He's been in their plans for the last 3 years to be their center. So they didn't go out and so sign free agents and build them into within their scheme. Because there's no way they would have said, "Oh yeah, we're gonna keep Kevon Looney as our starting center" when he was Andrew Bogut's backup. Okay, there's no chance in Zaza Pachulia. Think about the name Zaza Pachulia started in front of Kevon Looney. Okay, that guy was a backup center. Okay, like let's be honest about this here, and they have extreme weakness because of that. It's an extreme strategic weakness. I don't know how that they're not going to cover up for it. They're just not. There's not going to be enough scoring. I don't even think they're better than the Knicks. They played the Knicks right now. I think the Knicks would beat them.
Yeah.
Julius Randle would literally run circles around them at the rim. They would do nothing with Julius Randle. Right, and just because like individual defense of Draymond Green can't overcome nobody back there, right?
Yeah,
like there's limitations to how much great perimeter defense can do, right? They just don't. They have extreme weakness here, and that's defending the rim. So,
yeah, I can see that. I just still think that putting the team, bringing the band back together, makes them a championship caliber team. Now, whether they prove that to me or not is to be seen.
It's gonna be good.
That's why I said it depends on how many. It depends on how many games.
I mean, no matter who they face, it's gonna be must-watch TV. Everybody's gonna watch the Golden State Warriors, even if they face the Kings. The Kings are a really good team. It's really sad for the Clippers that Paul George is out, because if Paul George is healthy, they're a top 10 in the NBA team in the NBA. Paul George's ability to do everything on the floor is amazing, and without him, they're not going to do anything in the playoffs, in my opinion.
Yeah, it's more to the same. They just keep getting the short end of the stick. The Clippers do, so there's really nothing they can do about that.
You know, I have an opinion.
Mm-hmm.
You know what's a small? I'd say there's a 5% chance of this happening. There is a chance that the Boston Celtics. You remember early in the season when the Boston Celtics were white hot from 3-point line as a team, right, for a long period of time. There is a 5% chance that 3-point line gets them a ring. It's this really small percent chance, but sometimes they get so hot as a team. Al Horford's a 40%, like Jason Tatum, Malcolm Brogdon, Derek White, Marcus Smart, Jaylen Brown. Like, they got so many guys that can just fucking hit it from 3 that, there is no, I'm 100% certain that the Bucks are coming out the East. And you know how much I believe in the Bucks, right? But there's a chance that this team, they get hot. They get hot. They blew out the Bucks by like 40 points in the last time they faced each other this season, because they got hot from 3. And it's just, there's a chance. There's a chance that the Boston Celtics have a ring this year, and if it happens, it's going to be 3-point shooting. How well they expose the 3-point line.
I can see that. I don't know. Okay, so the last time they played, they have Jay Crowder. Because that's the X factor. Is more.
They had Jay Crowder. Well, it was like a week ago, a week and a half ago, pretty recently.
Damn. Yeah, if that 3-point line starts turning green for them, I mean, they already the Celtics, so it's pretty much green. You know what I mean? If it starts heating up, they get white hot from 3. And they have so many shooters. You're absolutely right. They have too many shooters. Too many guys who could just knock it down from deep.
Yeah.
But that could also, even though that's such a positive for them, that could also be a negative, because they could rely on the 3-point shot too much, and sometimes they do shoot themselves out of games.
True. Yeah. I feel that. Yeah.
Yeah. It can go either way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, is there anything else you have as an idea to talk about, or is this just like a natural stopping point?
One last thing. You're in Dallas. What are your thoughts on the Dallas Mavericks right now as they stand? they're out of the playoff contention. First, in the beginning, they were in playoff contention. No, they're completely out of playoff contention. They're done. They have the top number 10 pick in the draft.
My take on the Mavericks, I would say that I still think it was when you're so overwhelmingly bad at defense like that, there's nothing you could do. There's nothing they could do. I think there's only 1, 2, 3, 5 things I would keep about this team. Kyrie, Luka, in the center rotation. I really think they have that one good 3-point shooter. I think it's Maxi Kleber or somebody. Yeah. They have one good 3-point shooter. They have Christian Wood and JaVale McGee. So they have multiple guys that could do multiple things against different matchups. I really like that center rotation. For me personally, I'd get one guard that can be the guard defender, right? And I have at least one rotational guard that defends. They don't need to score. They don't need to touch the ball when they're playing around Luka and Kyrie. I'd have Luka as one of the 4 defenders, and I put him and pair him with another 4 defender like a Jay Crowder. Right? You become much more of a complete team. There are 4 defenders, 2 defenders in the guard position and 2 at the 4 position, and that's just how bad they are. That's just how bad they are. They Jay Crowder would be the best defender on the Dallas Mavericks.
Yeah,
Troy Brown Jr. would be the best. Like it's terrible over there in Dallas. So yeah, defense for me personally, I don't think it's anybody's issue. Luka's issue, Kyrie's issue, Cuban's issue. Dear God, it's not Jason Kidd's issue. Please do not come for the guy that literally had Dallas Mavericks almost going. Did they go to the Western Conference Finals last year, or they almost made it? No, they made it because they beat the Suns Yeah,
they beat the Suns.
A Luka Doncic by himself and Jalen Brunson, Dallas Mavericks playing small ball, going to the Western Conference Finals. Do not come for Jason Kidd's head. This is defensive issue here. That's what I think. What do you think?
For me, it's kind of weird because like how they were good, right? And I'm like, so what were they doing right during this stint where they were in playoff contention for them to add, I think, the best piece available, which is Kyrie.
Yeah,
right? Easily. And then to be so bad to completely eliminate themselves from playoff contention.
Yeah.
Or was it planned? Is there somebody in the draft that's coming in the top 10 that maybe somebody might be interested in? Maybe they want to trade that pick for a player. Who knows? I don't know. But one thing I do know is that I was reading online. Once again, I'm going to take this with a grain of thought because of Twitter. Jason Kidd said that there's going to be a lot of changes. A lot of the guys that you see now will not be here next year.
I completely agree with that sentiment. I feel like that's 100% right. Retooling. You don't need guys like Tim Hardaway with this team. You know what I mean? Like they don't need multiple. They need maybe one guard shot creator, but it's not that. It's not the need for that. Isn't that crazy? They just have to become more of a complete team. They were leading offensively, and Dorian Finney-Smith was a difference maker defensively. He's a really good defender, right? And I mean, a top 10 draft pick, Cason Wallace. Guard defender from the best. He's a generational defensive talent at the guard position from Kentucky. So if they're going to keep that pick, that's who I would think about going there. That's just me. So I feel like anything else, Chris?
No.
All right, sounds good. Cool.
All right.
Thank you guys for listening to the podcast. Next week's gonna be so good. We're gonna give you guys those playoff breakdowns. It's gonna be so great to see so many great things in the standings, the play-ins, all this type of stuff. Basketball's gonna be heating up, and the content never ends. As Basketball Addict, join the club. We're Basketball Addicts. Let's all enjoy basketball together. So cheesy.
Couldn't have said it better myself. We're all basketball addicts enjoying the club.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Once again, just want to say thank you all for listening. I'm Chris Mohammed.
I'm Jason Collins.
And we are the Basketball Addicts. Peace.
Ouch.